Number one, foot shaped. Most shoes are pointed. Your shoes need to be shaped like feet, which actually splay and get wider towards the toes. So rule number one, find a foot shaped shoe. Number two, flat. Shoes should be the same height at the heel as they are at the forefoot. Humans aren't designed to stand on ramps all day, so find a flat shoe. Number three, flexible. Your foot is designed to move. You need to find a shoe that's flexible. So being able to manipulate, bend, and twist the shoe lets you know that that shoe is designed for the human foot. Number four is feel. A thin sole allows you to get the most feedback from the ground underneath you. So find a shoe with a thin sole that keeps you close to the ground. And number five, make sure the shoe is fixed to your foot. Flip-flops are no good because they can fly off. They're not attached to your foot. So find a shoe that is fixed to your foot, fits snug, and those are the 5 F's of finding the right shoe for the human foot. Now let's talk about building lower body capacity.
Thanks for making that simple. Now once you are on a safe surface, barefoot, or in a shoe that lets your foot be like this, we have 3 basics we use in the ATG system. I noticed she was on here doing it, so I said, hey, I don't even need to demo it. She's doing it right here. How's that going for you?
I could do this all day.
When you go backward, you're now naturally pushing through the toes. So this is the first thing we noticed is a really good idea, not just for the knees, which is what got me into it. This got me off painkillers for my knees. I'll always be grateful. But we started noticing people having improved foot health from doing this. Now I'm going to go back and coach one of the boys through number 2 and number 3. All right, you're going to keep the quads straight because we're working below. The back's going to be off the wall. Now you're going to flex your toes up. Good. And then down. Good. Count to 25 for him.
2.
All right. Slower, slower. There we go. So what's happening now is he's doing the reverse of a calf raise. He's strengthening the tibialis muscle. You typically see it here flexing, but it actually wraps all the way around to the inside of the foot. It's the primary decelerator of the foot, meaning like when I play basketball, every time I have to stop, so I'm on my toes, boom, I have to stop. The load goes here. So the stronger you are here, the less pressure goes into your foot. Like theoretically, if you were strong enough, you would be impervious to foot pain because your foot would never even have pressure on it. Now, I don't think anyone's gonna be that strong to walk like this all day, but that just shows the physics of what's happening. Starting to feel something?
Yeah.
Good, so I would encourage you to give this a shot. I suggest a 10-minute walk backward. Our Zero program uses 10-minute walk backward, then 25 tibialis raises. You'll feel this working. If you can't get your toes up, just stand closer. Just like if you were going down a hill, if you took smaller steps, that would be easier. If you took bigger steps, it would be harder. Now he's gonna flip around. He's gonna get his knees over his toes to a comfortable amount. This will vary from person to person. And without anything moving in his body, he's trying to have everything frozen except he's gonna do a calf raise now. There you go, exactly. You want your body to lift up a few inches. Exactly. It takes a little bit of time to master this. But you're doing a calf raise in a bent knee position, which puts even more load, not just on the upper calf, but on this lower calf. It's called the soleus. Think like it attaches toward the sole of the foot. It's a lower, deeper calf muscle. It's stronger pound for pound than the upper calf. So it's nothing against any muscle. We want to be strong in all of them. We do straight leg calf raises as well. But a missing link is often bent knee calf raises. This muscle has the strongest pull pound for pound of any muscle in the human body. And it makes sense because the Achilles tendon, a tendon holds the muscle to the bone. That's the thickest, strongest tendon in the body. So thinking about something like backward as what got me off painkillers, it was then things like this. It's the fact that I can handle my body's weight in this position and do 25 reps that now the same sport, basketball, that was causing me the problems is super easy compared to the average person. So thanks for demonstrating that. He just got a little workout there. I'm wearing big toe spacers. My feet got jammed in to be shaped like the basketball sneakers I was wearing. So now I make a sneaker that lets my foot be like this. So I just came off the court this morning playing basketball in a sneaker that allows my foot to be the natural way, wearing a spacer to help make up for the years, decades of jamming it in. And then now when I exercise, I have opportunity. But I just showed basics of the ATG exercise system. Backward, tibialis, soleus. You can still go further into the foot. That's what they do. So take it away. Give us the actionable basics so that in this video, you can train the ATG system from the ground up and you can start addressing your foot itself.
So the 3 things you want to look at with the feet, or the 3 primary things, are your toe splay, your big toe extension capacity, and your arch control. So we'll just go through those there. Pretty inseparable, they all relate to each other. But first up, we've got toe splay. So that is just how wide are your toes, are there gaps between them, and can you actively splay them? So the reason for that is that actually provides balance. It's a lot easier to balance on a wide surface than it is a narrow surface. And as Nick said, pointy shoes make your feet pointy, which makes it harder to balance, and it ruins your arch control. So splaying out the toes, you can use toe spreaders. It's just a passive tool. It allows you to stretch them out, but you also need to be actively working on the strength and the intrinsic dexterity of your feet. So the way you do that is through a simple exercise called toe piano, lifting up your toes up off the ground all the way as far as you can, and then trying to put each toe individually down on the ground, starting with your pinky toes, then your ring toes, then your middle toes, then your pointers, and then your big toes. Now reverse that. Big toes, pointers, middle toes, ring toes, pinky. The slower the better with that exercise. Go again, and you'll really start to feel the intrinsic muscles of your feet working and burning with that. So what you've got there is your widest active toe splay, and that is going to provide stability into the foot. The other thing that that does is works on your toe extension, which is a massive part of your arch function. So the way your toe extends tensions the plantar fascia, which turns the foot from a mobile adapter into a rigid lever. So that toe extension is really, really important. You can do very simple stretches like that to just start stretching into that toe extension. That exercise, especially against the wall, is a great way to train that. Doing that push-off, any kind of calf raise is perfect. And you can also use a slant board or a soulmate to add more load or more intensity into that stretch. So having your toes elevated on something, stepping forward, lifting the heel up, down, holding, coming down further, gradually add mobility and capacity into that big toe. It's a small part of the body, but it's actually really, really important. Last up, we've got your arch control. So a lot of people think pronation is a bad movement. They want to avoid pronation. They've got all these anti-pronation shoes and orthotics, but pronation is actually a very normal and actually a very important movement of our foot for efficient walking, running, jumping, because that's how we absorb force from the ground, and then we want to bounce back into supination. So mobile adapter, pronation to absorb force, then supination to come off, rigid lever, and use that force for efficient power production. So just looking at your arch control, you can control the arch through the hips. So internal rotation of the hips will start to pronate your feet. External rotation of the hips will start to supinate your feet. You want to keep your big toe planted into the ground, hold that position, and just play with that. Then you can do your toe lift, toe piano, or just slowly place those toes down, shift over to one side, and maintain that position. And then you can start playing with that through different movements, trying to either maintain or to go in and out of that pronation, supination reactively. So the way you can train all of those while having fun, all of them together, you can get on a surface like the soulmate, which is domed. That will automatically start to splay your toes out as well as your metatarsals. You could have both of them together like that. One foot at the back in toe extension to get that toe extension stretch, one foot at the front, and then you can start to play around with different movements. You could have a hacky sack or something to pass around, and that builds stability in the foot and integration with the rest of your body.
So now that you know what shoes to wear that are foot-shaped, flat, flexible, have a thin sole, and are fixed to your foot, that allows you to get the most out of any training session that you're using to build capacity in your lower body. And by doing some of the exercises that these guys just demonstrated, You're going to allow yourself to have an efficient path to building a resilient lower body that performs well, and the shoes you wear turn into a tool that enhances your training instead of something that takes away from the training you're doing with your body.
Thank you guys for coming in, visiting HQ, making it simple. I'll give you my recap for ATGers out there. I was really inspired by seeing Kadur Ziani. If you want a crazy story, Kadur is someone who's been here, visited, has been a mentor to me. He's really big into his feet. He thinks it gives him extra potential. So if you look like at my foot, if I was going to jump, I have this spacer in. So most basketball feet end up like this. Kadur's foot is like this. He's the only 50-year-old under 6 foot who can dunk a basketball on earth. This inspired me. I was like, that's extra potential. It's just extra ability that you could have. I think plantar fasciitis, shin splints, I had shin splints for 8 years. Plantar fasciitis, pretty severe. Even Achilles tendonitis. I don't think any of those sort of chronic overuse type things, I don't think they have to exist. I think it's a math equation of your ability from the ground up. So if you've been following ATG, then you definitely know who Kadur Ziani is. Crazy story, them leaving Montreal to visit here ran into Kadur Ziani coming here. Like, what is the actual odds of that occurring is absolutely insane. So I first connected with them about 3 years ago. I've been on this journey of trying to make like a basketball shoe that I could play in that doesn't keep messing up my foot. So I feel amazing now, like when I do my backward sledding, when I do my ATG movements with my feet in this position. However, I think there's more to be gained by addressing the foot itself. And my aha moment was realizing that, okay, if someone can walk, they can walk backward. They can improve knee ability. And if someone can stand, if you can stand, then you could start improving your foot strength and your balance by being on a domed surface. And I like everything to burn and be a workout. My sport is basketball, so if I'm going to do anything else, it's like I want it to make me better at my sport. So I've been just, since they came in, I've been just balancing like this, and I end up getting a workout. So for me, the simplest way is to take these, put a couple of them in the living room. My wife and I have no adult furniture around for the kids. It's just like a play zone. We have a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old. Their feet are incredible. I want them to grow up never thinking about a workout or correcting anything, just natural lifestyle. We're making our sneakers for toddlers now, so toddlers' feet can stay normal. And just have them around and let the kids stand on them. My wife and I can stand on them. Her ankles are very weak from figure skating, being in a boot. So this is the first way I'm going to start this by adding it to the ATG system, is just putting my foot in that position and getting stronger in that position by you could just have it in your living room and just start doing it. So that's my encouragement to you. If you're like, I don't know where to start, he made it simple on how to pick a shoe. Whether you want a sneaker style shoe like I make or any kind of shoe, you now have go-to moves. Go back to the start of this video. Go-tos on how to pick a shoe. Put your foot in its natural position. Do your exercise with your foot in its natural position. And hey, you could join me if you try it. Give it a shot. Join me on it. Throw it in the living room. Don't even have to change your lifestyle. You can get extra workout, extra balance, foot strength. Anything you would like to say before we close it out?
It's just that we've got all the training on how to use all of this. Whether you've got the product or not, you can get started with the training. The product makes it more fun, more effective, but just get started on flat ground. You can use a rolled up towel, whatever you've got available to you. We make it all simple and easy. On our YouTube channel, you can check it out, The Foot Collective. But aside from that, yeah, it's just been great to be here. Thanks for having us, and
appreciate you.
Excited for more.